In the realm where imagination takes flight, where tales unfold and daydreams ignite, there's a touch of magic, a whisper of glee, and a dash of nostalgia, a sprinkle of fantasy. He wakes to the scent of yeast and the golden glow of dawn. Outside the bakery, pigeons coo, a gentle counterpoint to the rhythmic thud of his kneading. Flour dusts the worn wooden table, a fresh canvas for the alchemy of baking. Around him the tools of his trade stand ready. A chipped enamel bowl, a well-seasoned rolling pin, a pair of scales as old as his craft. Time seems to slow in this haven of warmth and rising dough. His weathered hands, maps of a life well lived, move with a practiced grace. Each fold, each tuck a silent prayer, whispered to the dough, patience, love and legacy. As the dough rises, he finds solace in the silence. The only sound, the soft sigh of the rising bread. This moment of quietude is his sanctuary, a space where the worries of the world find no entry. His thoughts drift back, carried by the scent of bread, to a time when his father's hands guided his own, passing down not just recipes, but a legacy. Each knead, each roll a memory stirred, a bond forged in flour and water, salt and yeast. Then a melody drifts in from the street, a lilting tune, weaving its way into the bakery's embrace. It's a song of the harvest, of summer's bounty and autumn's promise. His steps falter, a sudden longing tugging at his heart. He pauses, listening, and the song weaves its magic, pulling him into a tale as old as the hills. In days of yore, when summer's blush kissed the hillsides, and autumn's gold beckoned in the breeze, there was a village nestled in the valley below the whispering hills. It was a place where life moved in harmony with the seasons, where the rhythm of the land echoed in the hearts of its people. At the heart of this village stood a sturdy cottage, its windows glowing with the warm hues of hearth and home. Here lived Thomelin, a man whose days were measured by the rising and setting of the sun, whose nights were filled with the soft snores of slumber. The air around him buzzed with the energy of bees drunk on nectar, the murmur of crickets serenading the twilight hours. The sky above, a vast canvas, was strewn with stars that twinkled like celestial crumbs cast upon velvet. Peace settled over the land, a blanket of calm, undisturbed by the chaos of the world. Now, as evening painted the sky in hues of rose and lavender, Thomelin found himself drawn to his window. The world outside was a watercolor masterpiece. The trees at the edge of town silhouetted against the fiery bowl that was the setting sun. But it was the music that truly stole his attention. From the village square floated the lilting strains of a harp, weaving tales of days gone by. The melody seemed to have a life of its own, dancing on the wind, beckoning him to follow its enchanting tune. Curiosity piqued. Thomelin decided to heed the music's call. With a gentle creak, he opened his door and stepped out into the gathering dusk. He walked slowly, allowing the melody to guide his steps, each note a step closer to the heart of the village. The air was alive with the fragrance of blooming night jasmine, mingling with the earthy aroma of the recently tilled soil. Fireflies winked at him from the meadows, their tiny lights mimicking the stars that peppered the darkening sky. As he rounded a corner, he found himself in the village square, a place where memories bloomed and stories took root. The source of the enchanting music sat in the center of the square, bathed in the soft glow of a nearby lantern. There before him was an old woman, her gnarled hands dancing lightly on the strings of her harp. Her eyes, pools of ancient wisdom, were closed as if lost in the timeless tales her music wove. Each pluck of the harp strings resonated in Thomelin's chest, stirring emotions he couldn't quite name. The music swelled, then softened, becoming a lullaby that soothed the soul. It spoke of sun-drenched days and star-studded nights, of laughter echoing through valleys, and love that bloomed under ancient trees. And as Thomelin listened, he realized that this wasn't just music. It was a tapestry of the village's history, a celebration of life, a hymn to the enduring spirit of humanity. The melody flowed through him, awakening memories both his own and those of his ancestors who had walked these very streets long ago. It was a connection to something larger than himself, a feeling of belonging that warmed him from the inside out. And in that moment, as the music wove its magic, Thomelin knew that he wasn't just a witness to this beautiful song, he was a part of it, a thread in the grand tapestry of life, forever connected to the rhythm of the land, the pulse of the village, and the timeless echoes of the past. The music swells, carrying Thomelin away in a tide of sound. He feels himself lifted, not from his chair, but from the very core of his being, his essence becoming airborne, lighter than flour, freer than yeast. He drifts upwards, yet remains rooted to the spot, eyes closed, a serene smile gracing his lips. Then, as the final notes fade, he opens his eyes, blinking against the sudden brightness. Above him, the sky is a dome of twinkling stars, each one a distant sun, each one a silent witness to his journey. He gazes up, entranced, feeling the weight of the universe settle comfortably on his shoulders. Suddenly, the wind shifts, carrying a new scent, not of fresh bread, but of wild herbs, of sun-warmed stones and dewy grass. He follows the breeze, his gaze dropping to the ground, and there, winding its way through the village, he sees a path bathed in moonlight. It beckons to him, promising adventure, whispering secrets of the night. Without hesitation, he rises, his steps light and purposeful. His shoes echo on the cobblestones, each footfall a beat in the symphony of the night. As he journeys deeper into the moonlit expanse, the melody from earlier returns, faint yet familiar. It guides him, reassuring, leading him towards the heart of the village. The trees grow denser, their leaves forming a canopy overhead that filters the moonlight into dancing patterns. On the ground, the air is alive with nocturnal whispers, the rustle of small paws, the chirp of crickets, the distant hoot of an owl. The path opens into a clearing, and there in the center, bathed in the ethereal glow of the moon, lies a sight that takes his breath away. In the midst of the clearing, a circle of villagers has gathered, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of a bonfire. They are farmers and millers, bakers and weavers, their hands calloused, their faces etched with the stories of their lives. Yet their eyes shine with a youthful sparkle, reflecting the mirth and merriment of the evening. In the center of the circle, a young girl with hair like spun gold strums a harp, her fingers dancing on the strings. The music she plays is lively and joyous, a celebration of life and the simple pleasures it offers. As Thomelin watches, a wave of recognition washes over him. These are the faces that have graced his village for generations, their roots intertwined with the very soil they till, their destinies bound to the rhythms of the seasons. He sees the baker with flour-dusted hands, the miller with eyes as clear as the grain he grinds, and the weaver with nimble fingers that coax beauty from the loom. The music reaches a crescendo, and the villagers erupt into song, their voices blending in a harmonious whole. It's a song of the land, of the sweat of their brows, and the bounty of their harvest, of the joys and sorrows that have touched their lives, and the unbreakable bonds that have held them together through it all. As Thomelin listens, he feels a profound sense of connection, a realization that he isn't just a solitary soul wandering through life, but a thread in the rich tapestry of his village, a melody in the grand symphony of existence. His eyes meet those of the old village elder, a man whose wisdom has deepened the lines on his face and etch stories into his eyes. The elder gestures warmly, his smile a beacon of welcome. In that moment, Thomelin understands that he's not merely an observer of this vibrant community, but an integral part of it. He's invited to join the circle, to share in their laughter, their songs, and the comforting warmth of their fellowship. He takes a hesitant step forward, then another, each one bringing him closer to the heart of the village. The fire crackles merrily, its flames reaching towards the star-strewn sky, casting flickering shadows that dance in rhythm with the music. The scent of wood smoke mingles with the sweet aroma of roasting chestnuts, creating a sensory symphony that stirs the depths of his soul. Then, from the depths of the circle, a hearty laugh booms, echoing the joy that resonates within Thomelin's chest. It's a sound that speaks of camaraderie, of shared experiences, and the comfort of belonging. He smiles, his heart swelling with emotion, and steps into the circle, embraced by the warmth of the fire, the melody, and the welcoming arms of his village. And you, dear listener, are you not also a part of this grand tapestry? Are you not also a melody in the symphony of life? When you hear this song, close your eyes, let the music wash over you. Feel the warmth of the fire on your skin, the camaraderie in your heart, and the sweet taste of belonging on your lips. For in the grand theatre of existence, we are all players, all contributing to the eternal masterpiece that is life. And when our earthly curtains fall, our roles may end, but our echoes will linger, resonating in the hearts of those who knew us, just as the memory of Thomelin and his village will forever be etched in the annals of this timeless tale. The mill fades behind him, but the sound of grinding stone lingers, a low, steady heartbeat that follows his steps. He finds himself once more in the rye fields, but now the field has changed. It is no longer night, nor dawn, but something timeless. The sky glows softly, neither sun nor moon, but a silver gold haze that feels eternal. The stalks of rye rise and fall with the breeze, their whispering chorus blending with his own breath. And in that whisper, he hears a truth. Everything in life is cycle. Soil becomes seed. Seed becomes grain. Grain becomes flour. Flour becomes bread. Bread becomes life. And life returns, always, to soil again. Did you know, dear listener, that in the medieval world, villagers marked time, not by clocks, but by cycles of bread and harvest? The planting in spring, the reaping in summer, the threshing in autumn, and the winter feasts of bread, baked from stored grain. Every loaf told the story of time itself, a story of patience, of trust in cycles unseen. Thomelin kneels in the field, his hands brushing the soil. It feels warm, alive. He lets the earth sift through his fingers, watching how each grain of soil catches the light. He whispers thanks, not words, but breath, a silent offering to the ground that sustains all. When he rises, he sees before him a circle of loaves, dozens of them, lined in a perfect ring, steam rising like incense. He steps into the circle, and with each step, a loaf glows faintly, as though recognizing him. One loaf cracks open, revealing a sprout of green. Another splits, revealing golden stalks. Each one blooms with life, a reminder that even bread, when broken, gives way to new beginnings. Thomelin feels no fear, only peace. He understands now that his work is not just feeding the village. It is part of something eternal. The bread he bakes carries within it soil, rain, song, and love. It binds past to present, present to future. Close your eyes with him. Imagine standing in that circle of loaves, the warmth radiating upward, the scent of rye and honey thick in the air. Each loaf a heartbeat, each loaf a star, each loaf a reminder that life itself is both fragile and endless. Above, the timeless sky deepens. Stars shimmer again, but they seem closer now, as though watching. The lantern at Thomelin's side glows brighter, answering their light. He hears again the ancient songs, but now they sound different. Not just work songs, not just lullabies, but hymns, songs of creation, songs of cycles, songs that tell him he belongs to something vast, something infinite. He smiles in his sleep. His heart is light, and even in dreaming, he feels gratitude. Gratitude for soil, for seed, for grain, for bread, for life itself. The dream carries him further still, but the rhythm does not change. It only deepens, like waves lapping at a shore, like a lullaby that grows softer until it becomes silence itself. Pause now, dear listener. Let your breath match this rhythm. Feel how steady it is, how endless. Inhale as though you gather grain. Exhale as though you set bread upon the table. Repeat gently until your body understands. You too are part of this eternal cycle, and as Thomelin rests in his dream, you rest with him. The bakery sleeps, the lantern glows, the field whispers, and the cycle continues. Now, dear listener, I have a question for you. Do you ever feel lost in the endless spinning of days? As the seasons turn and time slips through our fingers, do you sometimes yearn for a simpler rhythm, a rhythm that echoes the steady pulse of the earth, the eternal dance of life, death, and rebirth? When the world feels like a blur of moments, do you long for anchors, for connections to something deeper, something more enduring than fleeting hours and shifting sands? Do you remember, dear friend, the tale we wove together last week? A weaver named Alara, who traded her worries to a mischievous sprite in exchange for a cloak of stars to mend her tattered life. What if I told you that Ilara's journey is not just a fantasy spun in moonlight, but a reflection of our own human experience? Just as Alara bartered her burdens, so do we all in our own ways. We exchange our quiet fears and unspoken dreams, our laughter and tears, our hopes and regrets with the unseen forces that shape our lives. Have you ever found yourself at a crossroads, dear listener, unsure which path to choose? Did you pour your uncertainties into the winds and wait for guidance? Have you ever loved so deeply that your heart threatened to burst, spilling its overflowing affection onto those around you? In those moments of profound emotion, did you feel a connection to something vaster, something akin to the magic woven by Alara and the sprite? Just as Alara's cloak shimmered with captured starlight, so do the threads of magic weave through our own stories. They may not be visible to the naked eye, but with a bit of faith and an open heart, we can glimpse their beauty and strength. Remember, dear friend, that every choice, every feeling, every whispered wish is a thread in the grand tapestry of existence. These moments, big and small, form the patterns of our lives, guiding us through the intricate maze of our fates. Don't ever forget that you have the power to shape these threads, to adjust the patterns and mend the tears in your own life's tapestry. Embrace the magic within you. Nurture the connections that illuminate your path, and never stop believing in the transformative power of a well-placed stitch. For just as Alara's cloak became a beacon of hope, so can the magic in your story shine brightly for all the world to see. And now, my friends, let us delve into the timeless wisdom held within the stories of old. From mythical beasts to valiant heroes, these tales carry echoes of truths that have resonated across the ages. They speak to the deepest parts of our souls, reminding us of our shared humanity and the universal challenges we face. So open your hearts and minds, dear listeners, and let these stories wash over you like a soothing balm. Allow their timeless teachings to seep into your thoughts and feelings, transforming and healing you in ways you never imagined. Remember, each tale is a treasure trove of insights waiting to be discovered. All you have to do is listen with an open heart and let the magic of storytelling work its wonders. Who knows what ancient wisdom you might find echoing within your own soul? Before we begin, I invite you to join me on a magical journey where the boundaries between fantasy and reality blur. Join our community and immerse yourself in a world where mythical beasts roam free, where ancient magic whispers through the trees, and where heroes with hearts of gold embark on quests that test their courage and determination. As a member, you will receive exclusive benefits that will deepen your connection to our enchanting realm. Here are just a few of the wonders that await you. Behind-the-scenes glimpses. Get a peek behind the curtain and discover the creative process that brings these fantastical tales to life. Hear directly from the storytellers about the inspiration, research, and hard work that goes into crafting each captivating episode. Early access. As a valued member, you will gain early access to new episodes before they are released to the public. This means you'll always be ahead of the curve, diving into new adventures before anyone else. Exclusive content. Dive deeper into the lore and legends of our magical world with exclusive bonus content. These special stories will expand the rich tapestry of our universe, giving you a more profound understanding of the characters and their extraordinary world. Become a patron today and unlock a realm of exclusive content, early access, and behind-the-scenes magic. Your support allows us to keep bringing these enchanting stories to life. So join the adventure and become a patron now. Here we are at the end of our journey. Our adventure together, Thomelin and you. We've walked the fields, danced at festivals, and now stand at the edge of sleep. Now we turn toward home, toward hearth and heart. It's late. The tavern's laughter has faded into memory. Only a few stars peek between departing clouds. But you have company tonight, dear listener. For by your side walks Thomelin, the last baker of Etheria, and he doesn't walk alone. You see, something calls to him now. A pull, gentle yet certain, like the tug of a tide. He turns, and there it is. The lantern. Its light flickering softly in the distance. It hovers just beyond the rye, glowing like a friend's hand, outstretched in the dark. And as Thomelin looks at it, he sees you watching him too, from behind the comforting folds of your cloak. With a smile, he inclines his head to you and starts to walk toward it. You don't speak as you travel, but there is no need for words. You walk silently side by side, your pace matching Thomelin's easy stride. The wind rustles through the stubble, whispering tales of harvest past. The moon paints the fields in silver, making old companions of the stalks. It seems an age since you first met Thomelin, when the sun was high and laughter echoed through the market square. How much has happened since then? Battles fought and won, songs sung under starlight, friendships forged in the fires of peril. But here you are at journey's end, resting in the quiet of the twilight hour. The lantern's glow grows brighter now, and the endless rye begins to fade. Not sharply, but gently, like mist lifting at dawn. Soon cobblestones appear beneath your steps, and Thomelin turns often to you, his face half hidden in the shadows of his hood. In the flickering lamplight, you can see the quiet strength etched around his eyes, the lines that tell of days spent kneading dough and shaping dreams. He pauses, tilting his head as if listening. Then he continues on, his gaze fixed on the path ahead. The familiar square of the village comes into view. Houses huddle close, timber beams and thatched roofs bathed in silver. The village sleeps. Every shutter is drawn. Every chimney is quiet. Only the stars above keep watch, their cold fire mirrored in the lantern's warm glow. There is peace here, a deep and tranquil quiet that envelops you like a familiar blanket. Even the fountain at the center seems to slumber, its water glinting faintly in the moonlight. When Thomelin came to this village, it was a place weary with war, its people hardened by loss. But he brought with him the magic of yeast and flour, the alchemy of water and warmth, and little by little, he helped them find their laughter again. You remember how the villagers welcomed him, how they shared their stories over fresh loaves and simmering stews. You remember the look on children's faces when they saw the oven's fiery heart, how their parents' eyes softened as they sipped hot cider, spiced with cinnamon and cloves. In the flickering lamplight, Thomelin glances at you, his expression unreadable. You wonder what thoughts fill his mind as you approach his bakery. The door is shut, but he reaches out, his hand hovering above the worn wood, as if seeking an answer within. Then, with a deep breath, he knocks 3 times, slow, steady, sure. And as you listen for a reply, the silence seems to deepen. Was that a creak you heard? A sigh of settling wood? Or was it just the wind playing tricks? You were right. It was Thomelin's touch that stirred the slumbering hinges. For as he knocked again, this time softer, slower, the door swung inward, revealing the warm glow of hearth and lamp. Inside, everything is as you knew it. The shelves, empty but waiting. The walls, warm with the ghosts of candlelight. The air, sweet with the lingering scent of baking bread. And on the counter, one final loaf. It rests quietly, its crust golden, its crest stamped clearly in the center. Steam no longer rises, yet the loaf glows faintly in the lantern light, as though alive. And now you understand. This is no mere bread. This is the heart of Etheria, the essence of the world distilled into flour and water, salt and song. This is the legacy of bakers, passed down through generations, whispered in the rustle of wheat and the sigh of cooling ovens. This is the gift that keeps on giving, the sustenance that nourishes not just the body, but the soul. For what is bread, dear listener, but the very pulse of life? Born of earth and nurtured by fire, it sustains us through the changing seasons, reminding us that even in the darkest nights, dawn will come again. In the hushed interior of the bakery, you watch as Thomelin approaches the counter. His steps are slow, deliberate, a lifetime of tread in every stride. He stops before the final loaf and lays a hand upon it, his fingers splayed as if caressing an old friend. The bread feels warm still, soft beneath his touch, and you want to reach out, to feel its comforting weight in your own hands, to know that this moment, this perfect moment of stillness, is real. You would hold this quiet with Thomelin, savor the peace it offers, lose yourself in the soft glow of the bakery. But you must be going. Your path diverges here, leading you away from the safety of this haven. Yet as you turn to go, Thomelin speaks, his voice a low rumble, like the earth itself, grounding you to this place, to this moment. He tells you stories of the village, of the people he's known and loved. You listen, leaning against the door frame, feeling the coolness of the stone against your back. He tells you of battles fought and victories won, of laughter shared and tears dried, of hopes held dear and dreams pursued, of lives touched by the magic of bread. And as he speaks, you feel the weight of his words settling in your chest, a comforting burden, a reminder of all that is good in this world. He tells you of Alara, the innkeeper's daughter, her laughter echoing through the square, of Old Man Hemlock, who sits by the fountain mending shoes and dreaming of distant lands, of Master Thomas, whose paintings capture the very essence of daylight, and Alara, the wise woman who tends to both body and soul. And always, always he speaks of the bread, the lifeblood of the village, the bond that unites them all. And when he falls silent, you remain with him basking in the quiet companionship, knowing that even in parting, you are connected by the stories, shared by the memories, made by the love that permeates every inch of this bakery. And when at last you must leave, He walks you to the door, his lantern held high, casting dancing shadows on the wall. He bids you farewell, his eyes shining with unshed tears, his smile tinged with sadness. You step out into the night, the cool air a balm on your skin, and you pause, turning back to look at the bakery, at the heart of Etheria. Inside, Thomelin relights the oven, its flames leaping up to greet him. Eager for another story, another loaf, he hums a tuneless melody, his shoulders relaxed, his steps light, and you know he'll be fine. Here in the soft glow of his bakery, surrounded by the ghosts of laughter and the promise of dawn. As you make your way through the sleeping village, you feel the weight of your journey settle upon your shoulders, the echoes of laughter and the memory of shared bread warming you from the inside. You think of Thomelin, of the quiet strength that anchors him to this place, to this moment, to this life. You realize that sometimes the greatest adventures are the ones that bring you home, not to a place perhaps, but to a feeling of peace, of belonging, of being known. So go now, dear listener, and carry the warmth of the bakery within you. Let the laughter of Ethereum dance on your lips. Let the smell of fresh bread linger in your dreams. For as long as you remember, you'll carry a piece of Ethereum in your heart. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, when the moon is full and the wind is right, you'll hear the echo of Thomelin's hammer on the anvil, a quiet rhythm that speaks of hope and healing, of life and love. You'll hear the quiet music of the last baker of Ethereum, a melody that whispers, "All is well, all is well, all is well." And so, our sleepy stories end tonight, but before we say our sleepy byes, I want to send a huge thank you to a supporter for their generous support. Your kindness helps us bring these stories to more listeners like yourself. Now let's tuck in for the night. Inside the bakery, all is hushed. The fire has faded into faint ash. The candle gutters low, and the lantern's flame steadies. A faithful guardian in the dark, Thomelin lies upon his wooden bench, a rough blanket drawn across his shoulders. His hands rest upon his chest, dusty still with flour. His breath moves slow, softly lifting, softly falling. The air around him feels thick with peace. The walls sigh with the day's warmth. The beams creak softly as though whispering lullabies. Even the empty shelves seem to hum with contentment, holding the memory of loaves that once rested upon them. Did you know, dear listener, that in many medieval homes, night was not a time of fear, but of trust? Families believed angels kept watch while they slept, and prayers were whispered not to ward off darkness, but to give thanks for rest. Sleep itself was seen as a gift, a rehearsal for renewal. So it is now for Thomelin. He surrenders fully to the hush of night. Dreams drift closer, not the vivid dreams of fields and cycles, but softer ones. Shadows of memory, threads of songs, fragments of laughter folded into silence. The lantern glows at his side, casting a circle of gentle gold. It reaches the door, touches the shelves, traces his cheek with warmth. It is enough to keep darkness kind. Outside, the village rests as one. Every home sleeps. Every hearth is quiet. Every creature, dog, cat, horse, sparrow, finds its own soft corner in which to drift. The square is empty, the fountain still, the sky a deep velvet cloak heavy with stars. Time feels slowed, stretched thin like spun sugar, and in that stillness, something new is born. For beyond the horizon, the faintest blush of dawn stirs. Not yet light, not yet morning, but the promise of it. A golden thread weaving itself into the edge of night. Close your eyes with Thomelin now. Imagine that hush, that stillness, that promise. Feel your body surrender to it, the way his does. You do not need to think, or plan, or hold on. Like Thomelin, you may simply let go and rest. The night holds you. The stars guard you. The earth breathes beneath you, and just beyond the edge of darkness, the dawn waits patiently. Thomelin drifts deeper still, his breath becoming almost indistinguishable from the quiet rhythm of the world around him. He is part of the night now, woven into its fabric, and as he sleeps, the promise of tomorrow gathers quietly, a gift waiting to unfold. Now, dear listener, let us take a moment to close our eyes and rest alongside Thomelin. Imagine the scent of yeast and honey lingering in the air, mingling with the soft perfume of night-blooming jasmine. Above, the sky is a velvety dome, sprinkled with a million tiny pinpricks of light, each a silent witness to the peace that blankets the world. Feel the gentle rise and fall of Thomelin's chest as his breath mingles with the soft whispers of the wind through the shutters. His face is relaxed, the lines of the day smoothing away to reveal the quiet strength of a man who finds solace in his solitude. His hands, calloused yet gentle, rest upon his heart, a silent testament to a life well lived, a life measured in loaves of bread and the quiet joys of a day's work. As you breathe in the essence of this peaceful night, let your eyelids grow heavy, your muscles melt into relaxation. Just as the bakery surrenders to the embrace of darkness, so too can you release the day's worries, the tangled threads of to-dos and what-ifs. Surrender them to the night, knowing that like Thomelin, you are held, you are safe, you are loved. Your thoughts, like fireflies, begin to drift. One by one, they fade from view, carried away on the wings of slumber. You are suspended in a timeless bubble of calm, cocooned off from the world's clamor. In this sanctuary of sleep, your spirit soars, untethered from the confines of wakefulness. Your worries cease to have purchase. Your anxieties lose their grip. This is your refuge, your sacred space where peace resides. Here, the past is but a whisper, the future a distant echo. All that matters is this moment, this exquisite stillness that envelops you, that cradles you, that lets you be. Be still, be at peace, be in the joy of simply existing. No need to strive, no need to reach, no need to grasp. Just let go. Let the night enfold you, letting the symphony of darkness lull you into a state of tranquil oblivion. Rest now, dear listener, as the night deepens and the hours drift by like fallen stars. Dream sweet dreams, or simply embrace the blissful void of non-dreaming. In this realm of quietude, you are one with the universe, a tiny ember glowing warmly in the vast expanse of existence. You are seen, you are known, you are cherished, and in the grand tapestry of life, your thread is woven with gold. As the night reaches its velvety peak, you sink deeper into the comforting quiet. The bakery, with its slumbering ovens and flour-dusted shelves, becomes a sanctuary of dreams. Here, amidst the fading echoes of the day, you are free to roam the landscapes of your subconscious, where imagination paints the canvas of the night. Or perhaps you prefer to stay anchored to the present, savoring the sheer luxury of doing nothing. In this state of blissful nothingness, time ceases to have meaning. The ticking of the clock fades into a distant hum, and the relentless march of seconds loses its urgency. There is only this eternal now, a boundless expanse of tranquility that stretches as far as consciousness can comprehend. In this timeless realm, your senses retreat inward, finding solace in the symphony of silence. The soft whisper of your breath becomes the soundtrack of the night, harmonizing with the gentle pulse of your heart. The symphony of darkness swells around you, enveloping you in its rich, velvety embrace. It caresses your skin, soothes your mind, and lulls your soul into a state of profound serenity. As you surrender to the enveloping darkness, a sense of profound gratitude washes over you. Gratitude for the gift of this moment, for the privilege of being alive, awake and aware in the midst of such enveloping peace. You feel an overwhelming sense of connection, not just to the present moment, but to the grand tapestry of existence itself. In this state of heightened awareness, you realize that you are not separate from the darkness, but rather a part of it. You are the darkness, and the darkness is you. In this alchemical union of self and shadow, you find wholeness, completeness, and an unshakable sense of inner peace. And as the night deepens, so does your connection to the universe. You feel a profound sense of unity with all things, a realization that you are linked to every star in the sky, every grain of sand on the earth, every drop of water in the sea. In this state of cosmic consciousness, you transcend the limitations of your physical form and soar on the wings of pure potential. You are boundless, infinite, eternal. Now, dear listener, as the night reaches its zenith, you find yourself at the precipice of a profound inner transformation. The darkness, once a mere absence of light, has become a wellspring of revelation. As you continue to bask in the depths of this transformative night, you will discover a renewed sense of purpose, clarity of vision, and a profound appreciation for the intricate beauty of existence. The bakery, with its silent ovens and sleeping hearth, becomes a metaphor for the fertile ground within your own soul. Just as the baker kneads the dough, preparing it for the next day's bread, your experiences and challenges of the day are worked and reworked in the crucible of your subconscious. Outwardly, the bakery may appear still and dormant, but inwardly, a rich alchemy is taking place. The ingredients of your life, both bitter and sweet, are fused together, seasoned with the spices of introspection and wisdom. And as the night deepens, this inner alchemy reaches its crescendo. With the dawning of each new day, the risen sun will illuminate the fruits of this nocturnal labor. You awake refreshed, rejuvenated, ready to face the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead with a newfound perspective. The night has been your ally, your confidant, and your healer. It has cradled your sorrows, amplified your joys, and most importantly, shown you the boundless depths of your own resilient spirit. As the first rays of dawn begin to peek over the horizon, you carry with you the transformative power of the night. You are not the same person who entered into this bakery at the close of day. You have been enriched, realigned, and fortified by the alchemical processes of the night. As you step out into the waking world, you do so with a lightness of being, a lucidity of purpose, and a deep sense of gratitude for the restorative power of the night. The bakery stands silent, its secrets held close by the rising sun. But you, dear listener, are forever changed by your nocturnal communion with the universe. Go forth now into the day, knowing that you are empowered by the mysteries of the night. Embrace the challenges that await with the same tranquility you found within the bakery's embrace. And when the day is done, return to the solace of your own inner sanctuary, for there you will always find the healing embrace of the night. The bakery is silent, the oven is cold, the dough for tomorrow's bread is yet to be kneaded. For tonight, these tools are still. The flour sacks wait patiently, the rolling pin rests, the bread knife is laid down. In this quiet, the baker, Thomelin, prepares for bed. His day is done. His loaves are sold, his customers gone. The scent of yeast and sugar lingers, a sweet farewell to those who've passed by. Now only he and the remnants of the day remain. He moves through the bakery, not with the hurried steps of business, but with the slow grace of one who knows the worth of peace. He stops by the hearth, where embers glow faintly, and stirs them gently, not for warmth, for the chill of night is settling in, but to coax the dying flames to life, just for a moment. As they brighten, he leans in, not so much to feel their heat, but to drink in the sight, as one might savor the last drops of a fine wine. It is a small pleasure, born of habit and a deep love for his craft. To him, a baker's life is blessed, a life intertwined with the earth's bounty. the pulse of the seasons, and the comforting rituals of daily routine. The bakery is his sanctuary, the oven his hearth, the hearth his home. In this intimate space, where the ceiling beams are worn smooth by time, and the walls whisper stories of countless loaves baked, he finds solace. Here, troubles of the world outside melt away like butter on hot bread. The silence is not empty. It hums with memories of the day, the laughter of children, the chatter of tradesmen, the murmurs of lovers, the murmur of passing seasons. They are all here, woven into the fabric of the bakery. Even now, after closing, when the dust has settled and the shadows grown long, the echoes of the day linger. They wrap around him, not as phantoms, but as companions. They are the essence of his work, his life, his joy. A gentle breeze slides through an open shutter, carrying with it the sweet song of crickets and the distant lull of a night watchman's song. It is a lullaby that has played countless nights in this town, a melody as familiar to Thomelin as the lines on his palm. The sky outside is a vast canvas of velvet, sprinkled with diamonds that wink back at the sleeping world. Through the small window high on the wall, a sliver of this nightly spectacle can be seen. For Thomelin, this view is a nightly ritual, a reminder of the world's endless beauty, a promise that after every ending comes a new beginning. With the embers glowing brightly once more, he turns from the hearth and begins his nightly routine. First, he extinguishes the oil lamp, letting the fading glow paint the bakery in shades of orange and purple. Then he takes up the lantern, hanging by the door, its simple flame a beacon in the gathering dark. The bakery, bathed in the lantern's soft light, seems to sigh contentedly, its workday attire of flour sacks and cooling racks receding into the shadows. The wood of the table and chairs grows darker, richer, taking on the depth and warmth of old, well-loved furniture. The shutters stand guard, their outlines sharp against the night, while the oven, a silent sentinel, watches over all. As Thomelin makes his way to the stairs, the lantern held high, its light dances playfully on the wall, weaving patterns that mimic the flour dust that swirls through the bakery during the day. Each step he takes is measured, not in haste, but in the quiet understanding of one who knows the worth of each passing moment. His shoulders sag slightly, not in weariness, but in surrender. He lets the weight of the day, the aches in his bones, and the thoughts in his head melt away into the soft carpet of night. Now, the bakery is not just a place of flour and fire. It's a keeper of stories, a silent witness to the joys and sorrows, hopes and dreams of those who enter its doors. Within these four walls, Thomelin has poured not just flour and water, but a piece of his soul, and in return, the bakery has filled his life with more than just bread. It has given him purpose, a connection to his craft, his community, and most importantly, to himself. The stairs creak softly under his weight, a sound as familiar to him as his own heartbeat. Each step tells a story, not just of his ascent, but of countless others who have walked this path before him. With each footfall, the sounds of the day recede further, replaced by the whispers of the night. Up here, in the solitude of his rooms, the echoes of the day fade, giving way to the hushed symphony of the night. The bakery downstairs, with its ovens and cooling racks, its sacks of flour and tables dusted with crumbs, becomes a distant memory. For now, he is here, surrounded by the comforting clutter of his personal space. There are books with worn spines and pages curled at the corners, each holding tales of faraway lands or recipes from long ago. There are trinkets picked up from travels, each telling a silent story of a market, a festival, a chance encounter. Above it all, moonlight streams through a window, bathing the room in a silvery glow, blurring the line between night and day. It is a reminder that even in darkness, there is light, and in endings, there is always a promise of a new beginning. Here, the world slows its hurried pace, and he finds solace in the stillness. It's not just a place to rest. It's a place to recharge, to remember, to dream. The baker rests, not because his work is done, but because he needs to gather strength for the next loaf, the next smile, the next story he'll share with those who walk through his door. In this quiet, his eyelids grow heavy, his breathing slows, mimicking the rhythm of the night, the ticking of the clock on the wall, the chirping of crickets outside, the sighing of the wind through the trees. They all weave together into a lullaby that rocks him gently to sleep. And as he drifts off, he carries with him the essence of the bakery, the warmth of the oven, the fragrance of yeast and flour, the laughter of customers, the comfort of routine. These are not just things. They are threads that connect him to his purpose, his passion, his life. They are the very essence of what it means to be a baker, a keeper of traditions, a weaver of daily magic. And in this magic, he finds not just his livelihood, but his reason for being. He is Thomelin, the baker of the village. And this is his story, a story written in flour, fire, and the quiet magic of a life well lived. Do you find peace in the simple things, dear listener, in the warmth of a hearth, the scent of baking bread, the quiet comfort of a familiar room? Can you find solace in the hush of night, watching the stars wheel across the velvet sky? Does the gentle rhythm of the world, the ticking of clocks, the chirping of crickets, lull you into tranquility? Share your thoughts with me, dear listener. What brings you peace in the grand tapestry of life? What moments, big or small, do you cherish? Your stories, like the scent of freshly baked bread, can warm the hearts of those who listen. So share them with me, and together, let's weave a comforting melody of shared experiences.